What's going on, guys? KDG here, back with another one on Tales of Crestoria. Alright, I'm sure you guys have already seen the notice on the bottom left hand corner right there. It's shutting down, right? Let's get straight into it, guys. I'm not gonna waste any of your time. My perspective of this, not happy at all. And I kind of wanted to wait a little bit of time. I kind of wanted to wait for a little bit of time to go by before I kind of like gave my perspective of things. I understand this game was handled by K-Labs under the supervision of Bamco for their intellectual property IP. You know, it is what it is, right? Like, I don't expect games to last that long, especially, you know, games that aren't like mainstream. Tales is kind of in that middle realm where they're mainstream in Japan but not mainstream enough for global, but at the same time global has more players for the most part, quote unquote, or potential players than Japan does. So it's kind of like a conundrum, right, in terms of what they really can be used for. Like, yeah, you can expand your game in the global verse by all these potential players, but if no one knows what your game is, no one's going to play your game. However, you have a good player base here in Japan that everybody knows who you are because you've released most of your games in Japan, that they're going to play it. Unfortunately, for both servers, Japan and global, they didn't really play it as much. And I kind of blame this on those that, you know, managed the game itself. I'm gonna back up a little bit, okay? Well, I wouldn't back up too far. But however, when we got to the half anniversary, that's when I started having my doubts on this game a little bit, and I kind of like stayed away from it for a little bit and kind of like focused on other things. And you know, I kind of was dabbling, trying to figure out what I want to do as a content creator for my channel. And for a while there, I was playing more Defo once again, because I started off as Defo, the City of Final Fantasy Apparameter, those who are not aware. But I started off with that, and I went with Tales for a minute to kind of branch out a little bit, and I went back to Defo. And then Defo, I just kind of got tired of it for a little bit, and then I went back to Tales after a little bit. And then it was like the full anniversary, you know, skip ahead another 6 months. And that's when they released, you know, Blood Sin Kanata. Blood Sin Kanata broke the game. I mean, that was apparent. And that's when I had another thought like, hey, okay. They kind of breaking the game already. Like, already, bro? Like, I'm doing like triple amount of damage that I was doing beforehand. And this unit is easily one of the most broken units that we've ever seen come to the game, even if it's like the anniversary. You know, like I was expecting the game to kind of progress into the next stage of difficulty, but it never came. It never came. We kind of got a little bit of taste of it with you know, I can't remember exactly which limit quest it was. It was one of the last ones that we received, but we got an enemy where he was resistant to debilitate, so you couldn't really hit hard with Blessed Kanata. And I was kind of hopeful at the same time. But then we got to where we weren't getting any events on a weekly or bi-weekly basis like we used to get. And that's when I actually said in one of my videos, which I'm going to post right here. It's weird though, because it seems like they're only doing some events now. Like they're slowing down the events, which kind of worries me a little bit. But I don't know, maybe just for this month because it's a Halloween thing. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that I was getting a little worried, right? You know, like, what's going on? We're used to getting events nonstop. I actually changed the way I played the game because we were getting events nonstop to where I would focus 2 or 3 days out of the week to really focus on the actual event, get everything I needed to get from it, and move on. But, I mean, we were only getting an event once. This is around October. This is when we're getting an event like once a month, maybe 2 events a month at the most. And, well, actually, no, it was actually 1 event. It was like the entire Halloween event was 1 month of the same event, and it was crazy. So I was really worried in terms of what was happening. So I kind of took a step back from the game a little bit. I still played daily. I still got things going on. I still made videos on the game just because I didn't want it to die, but I had in the back of my mind, I had my thoughts. And then fast forward after the holidays, for Thanksgiving at least, you know, we get the notice that, hey, Tales of Crestoria is shutting down. Who would have thought, right? So, let's talk about it real quick. I know we got notices to talk about, and I want to get into that eventually, but I'm really just kind of troubled about this. Okay? Yes, I did spend on the game a little bit. I didn't go deep hard. I mean, I did on some units, but I didn't go super crazy, like wield every single banner. I didn't like buy gems all the time. I did buy the pass that you can get 20 days of 1,000 gleamstone here and there, not every single time. But, you know, if I needed to replenish my gleamstone over, 20 days before the next banner or so, or the next EX unit that came out, I had time to do that. So I did it every now and then. But I really think Bamco and K-Labs really mismanaged this game. Hardcorely. And I mean that seriously. Because they released content that shouldn't probably have been released. And I don't think a lot of the player base was ready for it. And they didn't address the issues that was going on in the game that kind of turned a lot of people away from the game because of it. They didn't do it fast enough. And, it's just a lot of things that kind of like had this game in shambles before it even could actually start walking, crawling, all that stuff. It just had a lot of stuff wrong with it. And I gave it the benefit of the doubt thinking that they were going to fix a lot of the stuff that really turned people off. Because, think about it. This is a role-playing game. Turn-based, role-playing. How many other turn-based role-playing games are out there? A lot. Defo being the main game that started my YouTube career, being one of them. And they're still going on strong, and they've been out for like almost 5 years now. If not a little bit longer. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But I believe it's like 4 or 5 years right now. And they're still going on strong. So it's the formula of how you do it. One, it's the fact that they released pity system super late. Super late. In the game's like life, like timeline, internal life. It's just crazy. Oh my god, there's so many things about this game that I really had my issues on, and I should have probably saw the writing on the wall then. But I really wanted to give this game a chance because I really love the Tales of series. I'm a big fan of them. I always have been since Tales of Symphonia, and I played some of the previous games to kind of get a taste of it after that. But this was a promising game because one, the story, one of the best, if not the best stories I have played in any Tales of game, just because of how they tackle a real modern day topic, which is cancel culture. Obviously, if you guys haven't figured that out by now, it's cancel culture wrapped into a fate or a fate kind of, narrative. I mean, think about it. There's a vision orb, and people see it one way, and they go with what they see, and don't actually be the person who actually saw it, but they take what somebody else said and what somebody else thought, and they use it to formulate their opinion of that situation. That's what's happening right now in this world, right? So it was more or less like, this is perfect because this kind of tackles day-to-day issues. So unfortunately, it didn't work out. And I do know, we're going to get into the notices and talk about everything, but I do know that they're going to be trying to make this another medium. So I'm not sure how they're going to go that route, if it's going to be a console game or another game coming down the line, maybe handheld, who knows. I really think that this storyline deserves a retelling, and I hope they actually do it justice, because like I said, this game has a lot of potential, but it was hella mismanaged from the very beginning. But anyway, after that long 9-minute and 35-second intro, let's get into the notices real quick. Alright, so there you go. Tales of Crestoria is shutting down. That's the first thing you see. We got some summons that we can talk about and everything. The Adventure Campaign Gel, present login bonus. Honestly, there's no point, right? If you think about it, the game's shutting down. If you haven't got the units already, you're not going to get the ones you want, especially if you only have a finite amount of Gleamstone to go after. Don't even waste your time, guys. I'm just, maybe that's just me being negative because I'm just over it, or maybe it's just kind of like, hey, let's move on to the next. I mean, this was my main game that I played on my channel. But, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, message from the team, volume 13. Let's take a look. Alright, so we apologize for the sudden announcement for the shutdown, obviously, right? The team worked hard to deliver a game that could be long enjoyed by fans of the Tales of series. And we're extremely sorry to announce that this disappointing news to the players who enjoyed Tales of Crestoria thus far. We'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to those same players who continue to explore the world of Crestoria with us, in spite of the large number of in-game issues. However, since the service began, we have received kind words from many players that motivated both our management and development teams greatly. We would like to send our warmest thanks to these players for their encouragement. Amongst these kind words of encouragement, harsher criticisms expecting a higher quality of game were voiced. Taking these words to have come from a place of love for the Tales of series, we work to improve the quality of Tales of Crestoria. For inability to meet these expectations, and for the closure of Crestoria, we apologize. Okay. I mean, this is from day one, right? So I understand where they're coming from on this, but I mean, and I understand there's a whole pandemic out there, don't get me wrong, okay? Like, I understand. I'm not mad at them for, at least trying to fix, but at the same time, you gotta fix it fast enough if you want the game to survive. And you got people that are really willing to spend money and play your game, and you're not fulfilling that. And there were like, oh my gosh, I remember when we first started playing, there was so many disconnecting issues, or like reconnecting, or the raid system just was terrible, and it took them forever to even get a little bit better. On top of that, the arena still to this day has issues with connection. Like, you can be playing, you can be winning, all of a sudden a glitch would happen and you can't do anything else. Like, I really overlooked that as much as possible, because I mean, I was winning. I didn't really care. I wasn't trying to go for the top 1 spot, but at the same time, I was trying to go for a top maybe 100 or so. I think the highest I ever got was 82. I didn't really go for the top 1. I probably could have made it. I didn't go for it because I didn't have the time, one. But you guys had criticism. Bamco should at least stepped in and be like, hey, what's going on with our game? Why are we not meeting our expectations? And did what it was supposed to do, in my opinion. But it didn't do that. Alright, the main story of Tales of Crestoria will not be progressing further in game than already released, Chapter 10, which I have not played yet, which is the kind of backstory of Cascade. So I haven't played that yet. However, we are currently considering other mediums through which to bring the story to its fans. We apologize that we have no further information to share, but rest assured, we are working towards bringing the adventures of Kanata and the gang to an all-new stage. Tales Channel Plus. Not gonna look at that right now. Update schedule leading to closure. Till the closure of Crestoria servers, the following updates will be carried out. Limit on attainable medals will be relaxed. Oh man, that should have been done a long time ago, honestly. Exchange limits on certain items and exchanges will be relaxed or removed. There shouldn't have been one in the first place, in my opinion. It is what it is. December 8th, which is yesterday, or the day before yesterday. Adventure Campaign Gel present login bonus will begin. This is a login bonus that gives out grape and strawberry gels. Previous announced updates, these will not be happening for the most part. They even said unlikely happening before the closure, so don't even waste your time, right? So the server closure is going to be on the 6th of February, just to kind of reiterate it. In closing, we'd like to remind players that the original characters introducing Tales of Crestoria will continue the journey as full-fledged members of the Tales of series, which is a good thing, okay? So future games that come down, they will be a cameo appearance, hopefully here and there. Maybe Tales of Rays, if you play that in the JP server, they would be coming there. Through various stages such as in-game crossover events of other titles, the cast of Crestoria will be reunited with you. Players who have accompanied them on their adventures, etc. You'll just have to wait and see where they go next. While it was not a long journey, it was an eventful one. We hope that everyone can enjoy Tales of Crestoria until the very end, and apologize once more for its untimely closure. Thanks again for your support. We hope you continue to enjoy Tales of Crestoria. Not going to enjoy it if it's closing, quite honestly. It is what it is. Alright, so they did release some things going on. This is kind of going to be a longer video, guys, so I apologize on top of that. But you got the Memorial Stone Exchange update. Limited Quest Memorial Stones for pretty much everything that was released for the Limited Quest. You can get these right here. What do you got to do though? So I guess there's going to be an exchange for it if you want to play the game still and get those stones that you never actually had a chance to get. I guess there's going to be some type of exchange for it. We'll look into that a little bit later. Collection summons. If you got Gleamstone, you can't buy any more packs. You can't buy any more. You can't spend any more on the game itself. But you can get Memorial Stones that you maybe did not or were not able to get if you were saving. Select Memorial Stones from the limited and EX summons are being introduced to a special collection summon, so this is for you guys right here. This started on Thursday, December 9th, which was yesterday, so yeah, go aim for it if you want to. And last but not least, we'll see Adventure Campaign Gel present login bonus. So this happened on Wednesday. Login to receive Grape Gel 100% and Strawberry Gel 100% items. Use these gels to adventure through Tales of Crestoria, so if you have not been tracking, these are going to be able to let you not spend any Gleamstone to replenish your resources, such as your AP or your raid tickets. Not raid tickets. Well, yeah, raid and maybe arena. I would say maybe arena. I'm not 100% sure, but still, they're there if you need it. Yeah, pretty much. So that's all notices. Everything else was kind of earlier in the month. I'm not going to cover those. All challenge. Well, actually, I'll just quickly say it. All challenge quests were open. Maximum attainable medals were increased. Exchange limits increased. Exchange lineup update. I mean, self-explanatory, guys. Think about it. They're releasing everything that you can kind of just go in and max out all the characters that you were not able to max out beforehand. And you know, it is what it is. But now let's take a look at my box real quick. So outside of the SSRs that I did pull, I got a couple of them, or at least the ones that I really wanted to be maxed out, and that's a good thing for me, just because I feel a little bit of accomplishment. But I kind of feel like this is all a waste, especially after a year, you know. This really does not sit well with me if you guys have not seen it, understood so far. But like the SRs, underwhelming. One, especially if you pulled and got a lot of SSRs, but the SRs they really didn't do too much with. And it seemed like they were just focusing on a couple of games in the Tales of series. Like they don't have like over like 8, 9, 10 games that are mainstream games. Like, yo, what are you doing? You know? I mean, all these units I have not used. I have never used an SR unit outside of the beginning of the game. Once I got a full team of SSRs, I never touched these units. That's why they're still leveled as they are. You know, I never got them to level 90, level 100 for an SR unit. I never have. This is not a gloat or anything, but there was no point. They didn't do anything with them to kind of like, hey, this is what you invested in, let's make them better. You know, because some people are free to play. Well, a lot of people are free to play. And so if you want to include them into your game to make them feel welcome, make them feel like they're spending their time, because time and money go hand in hand with me, right? So if the people are spending time, they're spending money in a sense, because they're promoting your game, because they're giving hours played, right? You gotta make them feel welcome too. I never felt welcome to use these units because they were never that great. Okay, let me take that back. They were never great for me. I've come across a couple of 4-star teams in the arena which smoked me, right? Even when I had a full SSR team, it just depends. But in general, your average casual player is not going to know those advanced strategies with 4-star units. So you still got to make it accessible, right? They didn't really do that with these units. And on top of that, majority of the cast that they released was Tales of Abyss. You know, they didn't really have a good variety of SSRs from other Tales of games that really make the series. And like I just remember I was watching, I think one of Potty Muffin's videos, and he was talking about, oh my god, another Abyss character, or I got another Tales of whatever, you know, character. And it was like back and forth for like 2 or 3 weeks. And I was just like, or 2 or 3 banners that came out. And I was like, yo, like, what about Tales of Symphonia? There's plenty of characters you haven't touched there. What about Tales of Vesperia? You just touched with Flynn. You know, we got a couple Yuri. We got 3 Yuris. We got we got 2 Ritas, 2 Estelles, like different versions of them. But like, what about the other characters? What about freaking Carol? What about Judith? Like actual playable characters, not just the Memorial Stone. Like, you know, like what about Kratos? You gotta have a tower unit for Memorial Stone, but not a character. He's like one of the most hyped characters because a lot of people played Tales of Symphonia as they're starting, so that a lot of them are gonna have those units being their number one, or like remembrance, I would say. They didn't do none of that, you know. It really baffles me. But you know, I'm just a player. I can't tell a company how to run their game. I'm sure you guys have felt the same way I felt, right? And this is a rant. If you guys have not noticed this by now, I'm just ranting right now. I'm just really upset about how the game's going. So anyway, that's my box. I didn't really go through it as much as I wanted to. However, though, you know, let's keep moving. Let's go to my guild real quick. So my guild guys, Spill Soup, exclamation point at the very end. We just made level 50 and we're closing down, right? These guys have been awesome. I actually have them on my Discord server. I need to actually get back with them. I just kind of been on a hiatus a little bit. But guys, you guys have been awesome. Gotta love you guys as much as I can, and say thank you for welcoming me into the guild, and just being awesome, and you know, like helping each other out in the raids and everything, just because of how the raid system works here in this game. You know, you get sniped super quick, and I've been one of those guys to snipe, but I mean, we all gotta win somehow, right? But because of the way the system was designed, that's how you progress. And you know, we shared raids a good bit, especially when I got back to the States from Japan. And, you know, these guys have been amazing, and I hope to keep continuing with them in my Discord server, especially the ones that actually are active. And in the next game that comes out, which I'm not even going to talk about Tales of Luminaria in this video, but just to let you know, we'll talk about that in another video. But for those that are here, those that are in my Discord, thank you guys for being welcoming. Thank you guys for being consistent, you know, just being in the game and like just playing and like just talking about Tales in general. So you guys always welcome to my Discord. Never going to change. Might change a little bit of the Discord because obviously this game's ending, but you know, it is what it is. That's my tribute to you guys. Thank you guys for, you know, being there, playing, all that good stuff. In terms of Guildport summons, let's do our 2 YOLOs real quick. Well, actually, we can do 3 if I actually do some donations real quick. So let's donate some gold real quick. Got it. And items. Like all these items right here. What am I gonna do with all these books? Right? Like nothing. Like, I'm not gonna do anything with them. But I mean, the game's ending, so what can you do? I got 3 summons. Why not get it into it right now, right? Probably won't get anything from these. Yeah, pretty much that's what I expected. And let's wait for that. And the last one, that's it. So I'm not gonna worry about it too much. This is what it is. That's it. That's that. So, but yeah, like I said, we reached level 50 finally. We finally able to start getting certain things. It is what it is, guys. Moving on from there, we have some summons. Now, let's take a look at the contents. We'll create these collection summons they're talking about. I have a good bit of maybe 85 to 90% of these units. I think they stopped at Suzu and Genus, right? I think I saw Genus here. I did see Suzu as well. So yeah, they both here. Quite honestly, it's great in all that they have these units here, but SRs is still here, ours is still here. I got 74k Gleamstone. Is it worth it? I might do a last hurrah, just kind of burn it off at the very end. So I'll probably keep saving until then. But I mean, guys, there's nothing else coming out. Yeah, you'll be able to play with them for the next 2 months. Is it worth it though? You know, there's other games you can be playing, other things you can be having fun doing. Don't waste your time on a game that's ending because there's no point. I did have some, arena tickets. I do have 1 SSR ticket summon, 11 SR plus tickets, 34 ticket summons for the SSR Memorial Stones, and 125,000 friend summon points. Like, yeah, I'm gonna use them just to see what I get, but like I said, there's no point, guys. Anyway, this is a long, drawn-out video, guys. I really just wanted to talk about it, give you guys my perspective. I wanted to wait a little bit of time for people to kind of understand like what's happening and kind of like come to terms with before I release a rant video about it. Things happen. I understand things don't last forever, so don't get me wrong. Like, I understand that eventually this would have to end, right? Granted, it ended a year versus it being like a 10, 12, 15-year game. Like Dokkan Battle, it seems like it's going to go for. It's because it makes so much money. But at the same time, I hate to see it go. And I have to find something to replace. Or go back to Defo. And, it's so saturated in Defo, that's why I kind of got away from it. It's really sad to see it go, though. Like, it really was one of my favorite games. And, it is what it is. Anyway, not going to get too mushy. I'm just kind of upset. Like I said. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Probably for one of the last times. I'm going to do all my summons and everything for you guys in the last hurrah video. So that'll be probably closer to the end of January to see if I can get over at least 100k Gleamstone. Just kind of go from there, but it is what it is. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I have been KDG. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Thanks again for watching, and remember to always walk tall, my friends, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.